Hello everyone. Thank you for coming out to listen to me today. My name is Mike, and I'm here today to talk about the use of performance-enhancing drugs, basically in professional sports, and why they're harmful to an athlete and the human body overall physically, and as well as morally for these drugs. I'm going to talk about a couple different drugs today, amphetamines, erythropoietin, also known as EPO, and also androgen anabolic steroids. These drugs really, for the players at least, have small positive effects, but the negative effects of these drugs greatly outweigh the small positive gains. The first drug I'm going to talk about today are amphetamines. And basically, amphetamines speed up the overall function of the body. They speed up the heart rate. They speed up how fast the brain can react. So basically, they speed up the overall function of the body. The problem with amphetamines, however, is that they put a huge burden of stress on the body. And because of this stress, they open up the possibility for someone to have a stroke of some sort. The second drug that certain athletes may take is EPO. EPO basically helps deliver oxygen to the tissues of the body. Theoretically, this drug would be great because it's an endurance drug. So for instance, if you're doing a marathon or some sort and you were taking EPO, you would be able to go much longer distances and have better breathing overall after taking this drug. So theoretically, it's a very good drug. However, the problem with EPO is that it puts a huge burden on the heart. And because of this, the heart has to work much harder overall and to deliver the oxygen to the bloodstream and the muscles and the tissues. So it puts a huge burden on the heart, and consequently, it makes a person more susceptible to having a heart attack, and in some cases actually, dying after taking this drug. The third drug, and probably the most infamous drug, most well known, and probably most prevalent in Major League Baseball and probably the NFL as well, is androgen anabolic steroids. Basically, these drugs allow athletes to gain overall larger muscle mass. The problem with these drugs, though, is that although they do help an athlete become bigger, faster, and stronger, they have many detrimental effects to the human body. For males, they help facilitate faster male pattern baldness, for one. In some cases, rage becomes a problem. And for example, in the WWF, there was a wrestler named Chris Benoit. He was a professional wrestler in the WWF. He ended up killing his wife because he was on androgen anabolic steroids. He had extreme amounts of rage when they did blood tests after he had passed away, and he did die from these drugs as well. He killed himself after he did kill his wife. They found that he had a large amount of anabolic steroids in his bloodstream, and he ended up killing his wife and himself because of this. So that's one of the reasons why these drugs are extremely harmful to the players. Another reason why performance-enhancing drugs should stay banned in Major League sports is because of a moral issue. Many young people today watch and basically try to mirror what professional athletes do. They look to these athletes as idols in many cases, really try to mirror what they do and how they play, and even what they do off the field. So, what's going to stop a young kid from, seeing Barry Bonds, who is a very famous baseball player in the MLB, who now owns the home run record and allegedly has taken performance-enhancing drugs? What's going to stop a young kid from seeing Barry Bonds take these drugs and then say, okay, I want to have an edge now too, as a young kid, and he's going to go and take these drugs, and not really realize the effects of the drugs and what potential harmful and detrimental side effects it can have on the person? That's one reason morally. So I really think that not only should the professional organizations and teams make sure that these performance-enhancing drugs stay banned in Major League sports, in baseball and basketball, football, what have you, Not only that, I really believe that these organizations should set stricter guidelines and more cruel punishments to abusers of these drugs. There have been many players in the MLB, for instance, that have been caught using anabolic steroids, even amphetamines as well, even though amphetamines are more rare. Anabolic steroids are probably the most prevalent being used in Major League sports. I really think that teams and organizations should set stricter punishments for abusers. That's one way we can eliminate the use of these drugs and set a better example for the young people in our world today. One way they could do this would be to ban a player instead of, for a week or 2 weeks or, 10 games. Usually what the punishment is, probably the maximum would be about 12 games punishment. They really should ban them for an entire year. And what this would do, it would force players to not take these drugs. Another way they could go about doing this is to have more random drug testing. I believe that in the MLB, Major League Baseball, they have about 2 to 3 drug tests per year. And also I believe that many players they know about these tests ahead of time, and they can kind of plan around them. I really believe that organizations and teams should have more random drug testing, possibly 1 to 2 times per month, as opposed to 2 or 3 times per year, to really force these players to play fairly and set a better example overall. I mean, not only are they setting a bad example by using these drugs, they really are putting themselves at risk for liver damage, for amphetamines, EPO, increased stress and overall bad heart rate, as well as different things that androgen anabolic steroids can cause you. Overall, I really think that if they can do this and set better examples, it's going to be for a much better league and a better world overall. In conclusion, androgen anabolic steroids, EPO, and amphetamines are 3 drugs that are mainly being used right now in sports. These drugs not only should stay banned in sports, teams should set stricter guidelines to keep these drugs out of the players' hands. And players and also people that give these players the drugs should be punished much more severely to help keep these drugs out of harm's way. Thank you very much for listening to me today. And I hope you've not only have informed you on the harmful effects of these drugs, but also I hope you agree with me now that these drugs should stay banned in Major League sports because of the extremely detrimental effects they can have on the human body and overall morally the image that they're setting for the young people of today. Thank you and have a nice day.